Hello everyone, it's Goosex, and welcome to my new devlog video. Let's hop straight in. So first things first, you may notice that the art style is completely different. You may see like all of these new textures and be thinking, wow, has Goosex suddenly gotten really good at pixel art? And the answer is no. This is the first game that I'm going to be making where I actually have a dedicated art director. I reached out to one of my friends and he was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And he's been doing amazing work. So this is everything you see on the screen, apart from the chest texture, is all his. I should mention this is a temporary texture. That's why it looks bad. So the next big thing is that I've added animations to the game. So now the player has an idle animation and also a walk animation, which both look insane. I mean, I could just walk with this character forever. It's amazing. Next big thing on the art side of things, I've added support for lights. I took some time and quickly wrote a few shaders and came up with this really simple lighting scheme. It's so simple, but it looks so good in this type of environment. And basically, it allows me to render an insane number of real-time lights, all without even breaking a sweat on the GPU. So that's some of the bigger updates, but that's just how the game looks. Now let's talk about some of the mechanics. So first off, throwing dynamite, still there. You may notice there's now a little bit of a blinking light whenever I throw dynamite. But the dynamite still explodes, but now I've added a feature where any items that are dropped in the game actually turn into physics objects and start rolling around. And so that's a lot of fun to mess around with. I've also added the ability to break blocks, as you can see here. And there's going to be an animation for this, but currently I don't have it yet, so I'm just using a temporary stick figure, which represents animations that are not yet in the game. So whenever you walk over items, you can pick them up whenever they are like ores and stuff. That's actually another thing that I updated, is I added ores to the game, although their current implementation is subject to change. I'm actually pretty happy with how they're turning out right now. You can see the physics of the game throwing all of the objects really far away. I may be tuning the physics on objects like that later, but everything in this game does in fact have some level of physics attached to it whenever it blows up. So for example, you can see here, that tower breaks into a bazillion pieces and all the pieces fall to the ground. So it's a lot of fun to play with. So next up, I also added this pickaxe, which I showcased before, but that allows you to mine. You may also notice my new inventory bar, hotbar system at the bottom. So you can use this system to actually choose what blocks you're placing, or to choose when you're throwing dynamite, or to choose to mine stuff like this. Next up on the list of interesting things that I've added, I added support for custom shapes on different blocks. So for example, these sloped blocks have a sloped hitbox. And that's all seamlessly integrated into the Box 2D physics engine. Before in the game, all boxes or all blocks had a square collision box, and now that's no longer the case. I've also added inventory stuff. So for example, this chest in the background, I can open it, and currently it's temporarily filled with dynamite, and I can just quickly pick up all of this in here and just add it to my inventory. And I actually have been working a little bit on the interface for this. So there's actually a lot of nice features, like you can divide stacks in half, recombine them really quickly. You can have 2 stacks and pick up one and then pick up the other underneath. Or you can have 2 stacks and combine them in the slot. So the interface is actually really easy to use. Additionally, there's this other interesting mechanic that I added, where basically if you're holding an object under the mouse cursor slot and you close the inventory, that object is thrown out of your inventory and kind of dropped, per se. I don't know, I thought that was a fun feature. I'm planning to make it so that you can craft ores into different items in the game. but I haven't added that functionality yet. So for right now, they're kind of more like collectibles, so you can hoard in chests. So that's probably my next big update, is the ability to craft stuff. So I'll get that out next week. But yeah, that's everything for MineBlast. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're enjoying the development of the game, and I will see you next week.